Hey guys, Alex, TSW. This is TSW Tech. And one issue we're going to go over today is sometimes you go to drive your truck, especially these Raptors, and you'll get a bunch of codes, 5, 7, 8 codes. And basically, the truck's not going to run right. It may shift weird. It may sputter. When you go to rev the truck, it might not rev above, 2,000, 2,500 RPM. It's definitely misfiring. There's a lot of stuff going on. You also get a bunch of like service Advactrack and a bunch of codes, bunch of errors on the gauges that will show up. One thing that may be this, and this isn't always it, but if you have basically like mass air sensor code, your camshaft position sensor codes, possibly throttle actuator code, stuff like that, this is one thing to check. So a lot of times on these Raptors, if you go to the passenger side in the wheel well, this one's got a Whipple and stainless works headers on it, stuff like that. But same concept. So if you look back, you're actually going to have a main harness right here. So what happens is this main harness gets unclicked from the firewall. It drops down, and you can see where it was resting on the header right there. And that's going to short out a lot of ECU grounds. This is your basically your TCM or transmission control module harness, but there are some stuff tied to the ECU on that. So if that falls down, this was sitting right there on the header. You're going to want to check for this first. It's pretty easy. Like I said, just looking through the firewall, see if it's been hitting, and that may be the cause of this. And basically what happens is, if those melt, those wires are going to short out, they're going to ground on the exhaust, and this is what's going to happen. So the fix for this, is to pull that harness away, zip tie it up as best you can with some zip ties and get it out of the way. And then you're going to want to even unclip it from the computer and then the transmission. That way you can pull it out and get a better look at it, make sure everything's good as far as, how bad did it melt? Did it melt through the wires, or they melted together? And that way you can repair it too. So we're gonna pull this one off just to double check it. But just for diagnosis reasons, we got that out of the way. There's no wires touching. Now this is the kind of the fix for that. So when that grounds out on the exhaust, you may get different codes depending on different wires and where they grounded and where they melted. In this case, we're looking at fuse number 43, which is part of the ECU, and then also fuse number 76. So just for diagnosis reasons, again, we're gonna put the right fuses in after this video, but it's this fuse here, and then it's this fuse here. And that's a 15 amp, that's a 20 amp. And those are your two like ECU signal fuses. So check those out, and that should be able to fix it. Depending on what wires melted, it may be different fuses. So look for any ECU fuses in your owner's manual. Check that out. But this does happen quite frequently. And if they don't know the right diagnosis, it could be, days of diagnosing, and that's thousands of dollars potentially. So this is something to quickly check and make sure before, you take it to a repair shop. It's quick and easy, and hopefully that will fix your problem. Thanks for chiming in.